30 seconds here.
I'm going to ask them if they're ready. It is going to be a Terran versus Terran as well, guys. So this is going to be really good. I've actually been waiting to see a TVT today, because I had been having problems with TVT when I play on the European ladder, so we'll see. I'm excited to see some strategies.
Yep, and I am.
Alright, and the players are ready, Big T.
Alright, give me 15 seconds.
Alright, well I started the countdown, so that's 10 plus the loading screen. So
Fair enough.
Like 5.
Fair enough, you do the introductions, and I am good to go, my friend.
Alright guys, just so everyone is aware of what's going on, this is so far Game 3 2-1, am I correct?
Game 4 2-1.
Oh, Game 4. Yeah, Game 4 2-1.
Yes, sir.
So far, Future Talent in the lead. This is hopefully it doesn't come down to a Game 7. I'm one of those people that once it like starts to get closer to 10, I start to get sleepy and stuff. So Big T's gonna be like, "Yo, Jinx, what do you think?" I'm just gonna be snoring into the mic. So.
Dude, I'm the same way. Nope. I just started classes. I'm sure you guys know that. And I've been waking up. I'm gonna have to wake up at 6:30 tomorrow. So I'm pretty tired. Yep. But man, StarCraft 2 keeps me as awake as I can possibly be. So.
And we actually, are you in the game? Because I am actually stuck at the loading screen.
Me as well. So someone's having a little lag or something, a little hiccup in their connection or something, but I'm sure we'll be sorted out shortly here. The scoreboard should be a LAN. I'm sorry?
This isn't a LAN, so there will be problems in the connection some way, you know, somehow.
I just hope the servers don't go down. There we go. All right. So the game is now loading up.
That's
kind
great.
of.
I'm wondering if it is Beyond, the guy that joined in as a spectator, the manager of Future Talent.
Could be. I have everybody shown as complete right now, so the game should be starting hopefully very shortly. But guys, if you guys are just tuning in, I am Big T, joined by Jinx. We are now presenting you with the ISTL, hosted by Impulse Esports. And we have Future Talent taking on Area 51. And the game is now started. So please, Jinx, take it away.
Alright guys, at the top right corner of Daybreak, this is the official one of GSL. We have the guy taking a game off of Shinya and making the games 2-1. We have Drunken Boy as a blue Terran. And at the bottom left corner, on Daybreak, we have Future Talent Fantasy as a red Terran. And I have to say, Big T, I've seen both these players play. I've seen Fantasy. He actually had an all-kill versus, I want to say it was Overdose last week. He absolutely showed every little aspect of the game, and it was ridiculous. And Drunken Boy just the same. He's a really talented player, but I'm going to stay out of predictions on this one because I know the way both players play, and anything can turn at any moment. This is like Clash of the Titans right now. This is ridiculous. Like, I'm excited to cast these games. This is what I've been waiting for all night.
Oh baby, yes, Jinx said he did want to see a Terran versus Terran, and Drunken Boy, oh man, what is he up to? He is going for a Refinery first build in Terran versus Terran, and this is pretty crazy, my friends. A lot of Terrans have been choosing to just go for that one Rax expand that they would do against Protoss. But some players do still choose to tech on one base and then take their expansion a little later. And it looks like Drunken Boy is going to do that to the fullest with this extremely early gas.
Alright, in a biased way, I'd actually like to see Reapers right now from Drunken Boy. I love seeing Reapers. I think it is the most unused unit in the game, and it can actually be like one of the sickest units.
Oh man.
So,
that would be cute. Now, looks like FTaCT Fantasy is actually doing what I was speaking of. Just that one Rax Gases expand, which is very, very standard and safe in Terran versus Terran these days. Now, Drunken Boy, even though you'd like to see Reapers, I'm going to guess he's going to go straight into a factory since he got that gas so quickly, but we're just going to have to wait and see. This SCV is posturing, and there goes the factory. Unfortunately, we're not going to see Reapers. That would be pretty sweet, though. And CC just going down for Fantasy as expected.
Ooh, and Fantasy, is he going to get the scout on this?
Yeah, well, he slipped in and can't get out, so sooner or later, he's going to spot what's going on, I think.
All right, here comes the Marine. If he sees it, he's going to react so hard to this.
Oh, he's already rallied over there, and yes, he is going to see it. Now, this could look standard to Fantasy. I'm not sure how keen Fantasy's timings are, but if they're good, he should know, oh man, that factory is really far along right now, and it shouldn't be that far along. So we're gonna have to see if Fantasy is that good with his timings, but he's already throwing down a bunker because he knows he has to be fairly safe here. But the starport is now going down for Drunken Boy, but with only one gas, maybe we'll see that Marine Hellion medevac push.
Yeah, and actually, I like the bunker placement from Fantasy. He's definitely going to get some free hits on some Hellions if they come up. And I believe that is what he's afraid of at the moment is Hellions, seeing how there is only one gas, like you said. If there were two gas, you'd probably see an engineering bay go down pretty fast and then some turrets, but I don't know. We'll see. I mean, and yep, there is that medevac, so I think you hit it spot on, Big T. This is going to be a medevac Marine Hellion push. We'll see. I don't know. It could do a lot of damage, but
yeah, and I like this out of Drunken Boy because if he would have went for a 1-1-1, yeah, you would have had Banshees out, but Banshees, one Banshee can only attack in one place at a time. Now this Hellion Marine is going to spread Fantasy out really thin, and since he went for a command center, he's already going to be spread really thin because he can either choose to attack at the front with the Marines and drop the Hellions, or attack at the front with the Hellions and drop the Marines. Either way, Fantasy is going to have to protect two fronts when he only went for a one-rack gasless expand. So it is going to be an extremely loose defense here from Fantasy. I don't know if he's going to be able to hold, but we're going to find out in just a second.
You know what? I agree with you, Big T. That bunker placement there, yeah, that's fine and all, but he's just going to pick up and go right in, and that little bit of Marines is not going to be able to do a lot of damage against 3 Hellions and like 6 Marines. That's... oh my god, this is going to be such a sick attack. And you know what? Fantasy knows he has to pull every Marine up here. Oh, this is going to be such a good attack.
Oh, yes. So like I said, the defense is going to be spread very thin right now. But why is Drunken Boy's other Marines just sitting out in nowhere's land right now? They should be attacking the front of the base or at least being elevated in to help these Hellions right now. And that medevac actually took a lot of damage, but these Hellions are doing a lot of damage as well. The medevac goes down. 4 workers have been killed, and only 1 Hellion is left, and those Marines are still AFK in the middle of the map.
There is a tank out, and it's stuck too. Oh, Fantasy, what are you doing? And there's a Banshee on its way too, but there is a Viking out, and there is no cloak, so that Banshee's not going to be able to do that much.
Oh, it's picking on that trapped tank, though. Ouch, and here comes a Banshee.
Come on, Viking. Okay, there we go.
The Viking has made its way over, sitting right on top of it, so not even running away with the Banshee at this point. I think that's smart. Should have targeted SCVs, though. Was just targeting Marines there. Not smart, but finally, here come the Marines, and this is exactly what I was talking about. That defense just being spread so thin right now. 10 workers have been killed for Drunken Boy. He has finished his second command center, so he can take that expansion whenever he wants right now. And Drunken Boy has the SCV advantage, 33-30 right now, but it looks like Fantasy has held off all the aggression here, with the exception of these last 2 Hellions.
That forces Drunken Boy into a really bad situation. He has to expand now, but not only is he expanding once, he's actually going to take his third as well, because he knows he is behind and he has to do something now to catch back up. And and there goes Fantasy taking his third as well. So I actually like where Fantasy is at right now in this game. He's actually really far ahead. Yeah, Fantasy actually did well in that initial engagement, but I think
that Drunken Boy completely forgot. He had like 6 Marines idling over here.
Yeah, he did.
If those
he
6
could actually
Marines,
do a lot more damage.
Oh yeah, if they were at the front door there, this would be a completely different game. So I think, fortunately for Fantasy, he's in a really good situation right now, which he may not know. He might think, oh my god, I'm so good, but actually Drunken Boy just made a slight mistake there. But either way, Fantasy is looking pretty nice right now, and Drunken Boy is just transitioning into that Marine tank that is ever so popular in Terran versus Terran. Some players like to mix in some Marauders and just go heavy bio, but I like the tried and true Marine tank.
Yeah, it looks like both of them are actually going to go for Marine tank. That's going to, you know, that means that it's all going to come down to where they engage and who gets that siege up first and who has the better upgraded Marines. Normally,
and
the person
Viking
with the
count.
better upgraded Marines wins.
Yeah,
But,
don't forget the Viking count too, though. That air advantage. You know, you used to joke around in the beta, whoever had the most Vikings won T versus T. Well, it's not exactly that extreme anymore. But that air advantage can still mean something, because if your tanks can hit your opponents and they can't shoot back, guess who's gonna win?
And Drunken Boy actually making another Banshee, but losing it to a Viking that was just patrolling around out there. And you know what? I like where Fantasy was, but upgrades for Drunken Boy are coming a lot sooner. And like, they're just... Look, he's got 2 engineering bays to Fantasy's 1 engineering bay.
No, they both have 2.
Oh, okay, he just put his at the expansion. Okay, I got a little scared there. I was like, this is not going to be good if the Marines engage.
Uh-oh.
So.
Somebody message Fantasy. He's only got 1.
Yeah.
All right, but with that being said, though, I mean, if you look at the units, exactly the same SCV count, exactly the same tank count. The Marine count's in favor of Drunken Boy, but the Viking count is in favor of Fantasy. So I think very close game still. Drunken Boy is actually ahead, and he's going out with a huge stack, actually bringing along 12 SCVs as well here to do some repairing. So do you think it's a little too early to be throwing away SCVs already?
Actually, no, he's actually moving his 3rd.
Oh, okay.
I got scared there for a second, but yeah, he's just moving his 3rd.
Good catch there. I was gonna say, I was like, I know you said he likes bringing him with his army, but I was like, it's only 14 minutes in the game. So okay, he is just taking his 3rd.
I think that if Drunken Boy would have actually moved in there, and real quick, I'm just gonna shut up for a sec. We have a drop coming from Fantasy, and he's a little undecisive on where he wants to go. All right, he decides to go with his 3rd. I think it would have been better to actually... Oh, when I say that, a bunch of SCVs come up, and there's going to be a lot of SCV kills. Never mind.
Yes.
All right.
And by a lot, Jinx meant 2.
Yeah. Fantasy.
Oh, but he might get the command center. No, the mass repair is going to be able to keep that alive, but that was actually almost too close for comfort there. But Drunken Boy, while that drop was going on, he was able to get a awesome position on this 3rd base here, completely denying Fantasy, and in fact forcing Fantasy to take the lesser 3rd base in the center of the map here.
Oh, a big engagement in the middle, and a nice pushback by Fantasy, but I don't like the way he's running out there. He's going to pick off... Alright, that was actually nice picking off a tank. But back to that drop earlier, I think that would have been better to drop out there in the main base of Drunken Boy. Could have got those 2 engineering bays, and there was no army there to defend.
Yeah, you're right. There wasn't really too much set down at that expansion yet. Those SCVs weren't mining there full time. We have some Stim Marines running into the natural of Fantasy here. Let's see how much... Oh, man, there are a lot of SCVs here, and they're being pulled. But Marines just do ridiculous damage, actually targeting down the turret.
And it looks like I should have said Drunken Boy was going to get a lot of SCV kills, but because he actually got more than 2 on that one. So
he did. He's actually up to 29. Pretty respectable damage done to Fantasy's economy so far. And let's not... Just to emphasize that, he also forced Fantasy to take the lesser expansion as well, with only 6 mineral patches and 1 gas there. whereas, you know, Drunken Boy is going to have the full natural third for his base. So Drunken Boy in a good position. Another engagement going down here, but there are no tanks. 0 tanks. I don't know if Drunken Boy wants to make that kind of a move.
Yeah, I actually like the way Fantasy keeps investing into these tanks. He is only on 1-1. He hasn't. He just now started his upgrades for 2-2. But Drunken Boy's ahead in upgrades right now, 2-2. And he's working on 3-3. And he's actually going to push back this third, which is really nice.
Yeah, I'm actually kind of scratching my head right now, just kind of, you know, philosophically.
And he's going to lose it. He lost his third.
He did. The command center did fall. And I'm just kind of, you know, like scratching my head as to where did Drunken Boy's tanks go? He made that push with no tanks. Now he only has 1 tank in his army. So he must have lost them somewhere. And that is just horrible.
No, it was that push at the Zelnaga tower. He lost like 2 or 3 tanks.
Yeah,
and then he only had 1 left over. I guess he hasn't really remade any tanks.
And that is crucial. Tanks are like Colossus or like Infestors if you're Zerg. They are your tech units. You want to try and build a few of them and keep them alive for the entire game. But we do have a drop, gets picked off by the Vikings. And Drunken Boy not going to achieve too much. And we have another drop going into the main, but are both medevacs? Oh! 2 full medevacs getting sniped there. Beautiful play there by Drunken Boy. I don't know if it's enough to bring him back into this game, though. He's ahead in supply. But like I said, that tank count, you just need to keep them alive. And Fantasy's just doing a much better job at it.
Drunken Boy also losing a medevac there, only getting like 1 or 2 Marines out, but I guess he's going to rely on that 3-3 of the Marines and get, like, okay, now he's actually starting to up the tank count and get the tank production going. He was slacking there a little bit. I guess he was trying to rely on the 3-3 Marines that are about to come up. But with a tank count like Fantasy has and having his third secure, I don't know. I'd say Fantasy is in a pretty nice lead right now, even though the food count doesn't really show it.
Yeah, he's not necessarily... You know, it's hard to say right now. Like, Fantasy definitely has the tech advantage, but Drunken Boy does have the upgrade advantage. So, obviously, just by stating that, we know what each player has to do. Drunken Boy needs more tanks, and Fantasy needs more upgrades, and that's exactly what both players are doing right now. So, I think we're at a very even situation, 159 to 153 supply right now, with Fantasy having 7 more SCVs. Both players are taking their 4th base, with Drunken Boy's a little ahead. Drunken Boy actually going to take his, his 4th base because his 3rd got canceled as well. So, very even state of the game right now.
Yeah, and what I honestly really like about these PvT games is the split that's about to happen. Like, when the Marines and the tanks go up against each other, the split that the Marines are going to make is so sick. This is one of my favorite matchups to watch with Micro.
Oh, yeah. And we have, you know, a very nice position here for Drunken Boy because he's going to have the Zelnaga Tower. Fantasy realizing this, and he knows that he's going to have to pull back, unfortunately. He did lose all his Vikings to the Marines, so that would have evened the power of the the Zelnaga Tower, but without those Vikings, he does actually have to pull back here. And again, very even supplies. Fantasy is getting that 3-3 for his bio. Now, the only thing is that Fantasy is only completing +1 attack for his mech, whereas Drunken Boy is about to finish +2. So even though, if we look at the tank count, Drunken Boy has less, he does have the better upgraded.
Yeah, and that is definitely going to make a difference in the battle that comes up. Let's see, we got, what is it, 6 tanks, and wow, actually that's a big difference, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I don't know how many upgrades are going to help you make up that tank deficit.
Oh, and 3 hits on the tanks and the Marines running by, but ooh, I don't like the engagement from Fantasy there, coming off that high ground.
Yeah, Drunken Boy got a great position here. It's all about position in Terran versus Terran. And taking down the 3rd base of Fantasy. Drunken Boy pushing in with all these Marines right now. And are these tanks going to be able to come and reinforce? I'm not sure, because Drunken Boy does have that tower. And there is the GG. And Drunken Boy is going to take game number 4.
Big T. Dude, all it came down to was the engagement in the position, like you said.
The position, it was all about the position. He held those
tanks, he held the Marines with his tanks.
Yeah.
Ran the rest of the Marines into... Oh my god, that was so sick by Drunken Boy. One move like that, and it was checkmate.
Yeah, we were just saying how, oh man, Fantasy, no upgrades can save you from that amount of tanks. What does Drunken Boy do? He puts himself in an amazing position. Forces Fantasy to have to come back and defend, or else he's going to lose everything. What happens? Fantasy has to walk into tank fire. What does that mean? You're going to lose your entire army regardless of how many tanks you have. That position was absolute beauty out of Drunken Boy.
Yep, and guys, I want to make a little announcement involving ISTL. Impulse actually fell to Overdose tonight in a 4-1 victory for OD. Damn, have to say, man, Overdose proving something tonight. Not I think we beat them a couple times, and I think, you know, a couple of our players may have all killed them or something like that. I think I remember hearing, but Overdose, they brought their game tonight.
Wow. So okay, good job to Overdose then. All right. You know, we are casting for IMP, but credit is due where credit is due. So congratulations to Overdose for their victory over Impulse Esports. That's great. But hopefully